Welcome back to the Theme Park Realm YouTube channel, and welcome back to the Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 series. Now, of course, in the last episode, we did start work on the Egyptian area. We finished off the full roller coaster. It's all in place now. We've got it running nice and smoothly. And so in this episode, we're kind of just carrying on with the sort of the area as a whole. Getting all of those finer details into place and really sort of trying to build up the theming now, because that's going to be the main focus. Now you will see sort of around the back of where the roller coaster is, there is a bit of an empty space as well, and I am going to be putting a new ride in there as well, just to kind of fill the gap. I mean, I did want this area to have kind of two major sort of standout rides anyway, so I'm actually going to be going for a water ride on the other side of this sort of pond that you're looking at the moment. You'll see that in a second. But yeah, what I was trying to do here is just kind of put something sort of there in the space. I thought a lake would look quite nice, just for the people that are walking by the area, and also for when you're on the ride as well. And I am also going to be modifying this station area. Obviously, in the last video, I did say, that I wasn't entirely happy with how this station was looking. So I do start trying to sort of build. You can see here now, I'm just trying to build up some layers sort of on the front of that station and just make it blend in more with the pyramid that's behind it. But it was quite difficult because obviously it is all kind of built into quite a small, compact area. And then you've got, the coaster track actually gets in the way as well. And it doesn't allow certain blocks to be placed there, because the track's actually in the way. You can see there I wasn't able to put a block in the middle, so I ended up having to just delete the whole thing. And that's the problem that you have when you try and build everything and sort of cram everything together. You do come across issues like that where you just can't fit things in properly, and you do kind of have to settle for sort of a worse kind of product, I suppose you would call it, what I wanted it to look like. But I don't really have much choice with that. I had to leave that flat. That's really kind of all that I'm going to do with that for now. But again, the station area for that coaster, it might be something that I do go back to again, just because I really feel like it needs even more detail putting on it. And I'm not sure whether to kind of like sort of make it into part of the pyramid, if that makes sense. So get rid of that massive roof and just have it so it is literally a piece of the pyramid instead. I think that might look better, and I might, going forwards, I might do that. But obviously I was trying to just get as much sort of detail done as possible. You can see here I'm putting some rocks in around the ride. There is actually some supports on that sort of pathway there that's conflicting with the ride. I will sort that out sort of later on as well. But you can see I'm just putting some rock work in there, and just getting, trying to sort of figure out what theming I can actually use. Because the thing with the Egyptian theme on this game, although the actual kind of like pyramid that I've built really good, and the sort of blocks that you can use for that are really, really detailed and really good, but there isn't really that much more that you can use for the Egyptian theme, which is a bit of a nightmare. There's not really that much other sort of theming that you can use. And I did run into, well, I am sort of currently running into a bit of a problem with that, because I'm kind of wondering what else to put in the area. And if you do have any suggestions, do let me know in the comments, because I'm always sort of open to any suggestions that people might have for this. But yeah, I feel like I am going to struggle to get any more kind of like real Egyptian theming in the area. But I can always go away and build some more sort of pyramids, maybe a smaller pyramid. And you will see when I actually start building the water ride around the other side, you will see that I do build like kind of like another slightly smaller pyramid that goes sort of to cover the supports for the drop of that, and it does end up looking quite nice actually, as well. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just sort of carrying on here and putting fencing along the paths and getting everything ready. I'm still kind of debating, how sort of far to take this area. Now, obviously, with the western area, that did go back quite far into the park. And I'm not quite sure, just how far I'm going to be taking this area. I don't know whether to make it, smaller than the western sort of section, because I know the western area was quite a, it's quite a large area. And if you look at where this Egyptian area is in sort of relation to the actual park entrance, it's literally directly behind the park entrance. So, I kind of want to keep it a little bit smaller. I don't want it to go sort of too far around, because of course you've always got to remember that I am going to be building a water park in this theme park as well, and I need to make sure that I've got room for that water park on the other side of the map. So I don't know, with this area I could always sort of move it, I could always sort of build it backwards further towards the back of the map if I really did want to expand it. But I might just, kind of finish it off in the next episode and then go on to another new area with completely different theme, and again just to sort of keep it interesting and sort of keep it fresh. And you can see here, again, like I've done with the previous areas, I'm trying to sort of build trees up there around the ride just to hide it, so if I do build anything else behind that ride in the future, you won't know that any of this is sort of here. It'll all kind of be hidden, you know, in its own area, just like the Western World is as well. So if I did want to go back there and build another area behind there, you wouldn't be able to see the Western area and you wouldn't be able to see that Egyptian area either. It'd all be kind of like segregated off. And I just think that's, you know, it's just a nice way to do it really, and it just helps sort of create separation between the different areas of the park as well. So I think that is a really good way of doing it. But yeah, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to cut to some music just while I carry on adding some detail in here, and then you will see in a second that I do start to build the actual water ride for the area as well. So there you go, you've just seen the full construction pretty much of the actual log flume. Now that is kind of like sort of, as I said earlier, it's a ride that I put in to sort of fill the space around the coaster, because there was quite a large area sort of in that middle bit where that ride now is that was just completely empty, and I do think there's some really good kind of interaction as well with the roller coaster. So when people are actually on the flume, there is certain sections of the flume that kind of crosses underneath the roller coaster, and there's also a section as well that's sort of like right next to where the bottom of the lift hill is for the roller coaster as well. So it's got some great interaction with that ride, and it's also, you know, it just makes the area look better. You know, there's just more to it with that ride there as well. Now, I may go back and sort of make some changes to that flume in the future. I would like it ideally to have another large drop. So it might be something that I'll go back into and just modify, because I do think, although I've got that, you know, there's a big drop towards the end of it, and there's also quite, you know, there's a couple of big drops during the actual ride as well, sort of in sort of the middle of the ride, but I do think it would benefit from having another large drop somewhere, so I may very well go back in the future and just modify part of that and just take it back a little bit more and add another drop into it. Because another thing as well that I did sort of struggle to do on this one was get sort of a good number of boats running around it. I think with the block system on this, you have to basically have a lift hill on the log flumes. You have to have quite a long lift hill to sort of segregate the sections into block sections. So because of that, I've only so far managed to get 3 boats to run this ride, and that was after I'd actually added in another lift hill to try and segregate one of the blocks. But yeah, I've only actually managed to get 3 boats running on this ride. Now, if you imagine, if this ride gets busy, then it's it's going to have a really long queue, and then of course the peeps in Roller Coaster Tycoon are not going to be happy with that, are they? They're going to be moaning, and the sort of rating of the park's going to go down. So I definitely need to try and add another couple of blocks into the ride, and possibly another drop as well, another large drop and another large lift hill, just to kind of break the ride up a little bit. But you can see, as always, I'm going for sort of the main details here with this, and I'm building up the station now as well that's going to go around the ride. I do think this station looks a lot better than the one that I built for the roller coaster. Like I've said previously, I've never actually used this Egyptian style theme before, so I am still getting used to it, and I've never kind of built anything. I've literally never built anything at all with the Egyptian style theming. So I think obviously with the western area, I've used the western theming quite a lot in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and so I kind of know what I'm doing with that. But with the Egyptian style theming, I really don't have a clue. So you can see that I'm trying to go back and add detail into this and see exactly how many different kind of like wall panels and things like that I can use, because otherwise it kind of just looks flat, and it doesn't really look it just doesn't look good off ride if you don't add kind of a bit of depth to the the buildings. And I'm adding more of these kind of like Egyptian style pillars as well to try and sort of make the building look like it's like partially destroyed, make it look more older than what it is as well. But yeah, I think on the other side of this, what I'm going to do possibly is add, because I did say earlier on that I wanted to put a drop tower in this area, or just some sort of flat ride. So I think in the next episode, to finish this area off, I might build another pyramid on the other side, on the direct opposite side to where this station is that I've just built now. And I might put maybe a top spin, or just some sort of drop tower. Obviously, having the pyramid over it means that I can actually build that then down into the ground, and it'll still look sort of level from up top. The pyramid's still going to look level with the ground, but the actual drop tower will be kind of like dug right down, and then you'll get the extra height then without having it sort of visible from other areas in the park. So I certainly am thinking about adding something like either a top scan, either a top spin or a drop tower. I really want to put either one of those rides in this area. And whichever one I don't put in this area, I will then use for the next area that I kind of create in this park. But yeah, you can see here that I'm trying to kind of hide the drop on the log flume by building kind of like a pyramid looking sort of structure on the corner. Just because I just think it looks better when you do things like that, just to cover up the support structure. And I may go back around the rest of the ride and do a similar thing with that as well. Just try and cover up as much of that kind of support structure as well, because I just think it makes the whole area look a lot better when you do that. And it just adds to the sort of the overall theme of the area as well. And now if I go onto the other side of that and put another pyramid, it will look really good. And I can put the drop tower in that as well. So I think I probably will go for a drop tower, to be fair, with that one. But yeah, that's pretty much all that we've got time for in today's video. So again, as always, if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I am trying my best to get as many of these videos out as possible at the moment, but as I'm sure you can understand, they do take a long time to make. I mean, all of this is time-lapse. This episode alone has taken me over 2 hours to do, because it's all sort of compressed down into this sort of fairly short video. But yeah, they do take a while, but I am going to try and get as many out as possible. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.